Howdy, everyone. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Waxing with Wade. Welcome. This week, I have for you episode number 65, and I'm thrilled to feature this artist that the world lost way too soon to a plane crash. From 1973, Jim Croce, I Got a Name. This album was released posthumously. He was killed in a plane crash in Louisiana, leaving a show or going to a show in Natchitoches, Louisiana in September of 1973. On the next day, the title track, I Got a Name, was released as the first song from this album, the day after he died. This album wasn't released for a couple months later. It had been finished, and it was released posthumously, as I said. Here we got a great picture of Jim on the back, and all the song notes and titles, most of which he wrote. The inner sleeve has another great photo of him sprawled out there on the bed, and a close-up of Jim. So let me tell you a little about him. You probably know him from his #1 hit, Bad Bad Leroy Brown. And from 1973, earlier in the year, and from his Life and Times album, the one that preceded this. Now, if we go back, 1966, he released his first album, and he did it himself. He had 500 copies made, and he sold them at his show. He sold them all, and he made $2,500 profit in all of that. He had used the money. He could only afford to get 500 records. He used wedding money from his parents. He had married Ingrid, and became his wife, Ingrid Croce. And actually, they did the second album of his together, and it was billed as Jim and Ingrid Croce. About 3 years later, in 1969, I believe. And they co-wrote the songs on that album. And he struggled all during this time. He was still working odd jobs, supporting himself and his wife, and they did not have any success, was playing local bars and clubs. Finally had a breakthrough in 1972. He had met another musician who became a lifelong friend, Maury Milhausen, another guitarist and songwriter. And he became, from that point forward, his touring partner. They would perform, when Jim Croce would play live, it would typically be the two of them sitting there with acoustic guitars. He also was a songwriter and co-wrote some of the songs with Jim. And that 1972 album, You Don't Mess Around with Jim, was a big breakout for him. That was a big hit, the title cut. There was also Operator, That's Not How It Feels, and Time in a Bottle, the beautiful love melody that we actually used in our wedding as one of the songs prior to the ceremony starting. That was his third studio album. He followed it months later in early 73 with Life and Times, which had the #1 hit, huge hit, one of the biggest hits of the year, Bad Bad Leroy Brown. That album also has one of my favorites by him. Wish I could play it for you, but I don't have that vinyl. And that is Roller Derby Queen, which is hilarious. So he wrote and sang a mixture of very poetic, poignant, and moving songs and funny songs with funny lyrics. And all of it came from a blue-collar, working man, everyday guy perspective. Great voice. I just adore him, and I hope it shows. Anyway, the tragic plane crash took his life way too early, and who knows how many great songs over the years we missed out on if his career had been extended. And his friend, Maury Milhausen, was also on the plane and died in 1973. For those 3 albums over 2 years, they contain several just timeless classic songs, and you're going to hear a couple of them today. I Got a Name, the song I've Got a Name. No, I'm sorry, the song I Got a Name, but in the lyrics he says I've got a name, but the song is called I Got a Name, is one of the few songs not written by him. There's a couple on this album, but most of the previous albums, he wrote all of his material. He chose this song, I Got a Name, which was written by two Hall of Fame songwriters who also wrote Killing Me Softly with his song that Roberta Flack had the #1 hit with. That's Charles Fox and Norman Gimbel. Songwriting team, you can look them up on Wiki. So he chose to record this song they had written. He has the definitive version of it. I mean, it had not been recorded by others at that point. We're going to lead it off because it's track 1, side 1, and the title cut from the album. And one of my favorite songs from the 70s. I just adore this song. The rest of the ones we're going to hear today, he wrote. And some of them are going to make you smile and laugh and with the funny lyrics. And some of them are just very poignant and serious. So he chose this because his father had a dream for him and did not get to live to see him succeed with his career. And that you'll hear in the lyrics, even though he didn't write it, it fits right in. Here we go. I Got a Name.
Like the pine trees lining the winding road, I've got a name, I've got a name. Like the singing bird and the croaking toad, I've got a name, I've got a name. And I carry it with me like my daddy did, but I'm living the dream that he kept here. Rolling me down the highway, rolling me down the highway, moving ahead so life won't pass me by. Like a north wind whistling down the sky, I've got a song, I've got a song. Like the will and the babies cry, I've got a song, I've got a song. And I carry it with me and I sing it loud. If it gets me nowhere, I go there proud. Moving me down the highway, rolling me down the highway, moving ahead so life won't pass me by.
Oh, I just love that song. And now, the next song on this side is Lover's Cross, another favorite of mine. It was also on his greatest hits album and a single from this album, just as that one was. This one's really catchy, and I love it. Lover's Cross.
You said it was bound to happen, it's just a matter of time. Now I've come to my decision, and it's one of the painful kind. 'Cause now it seems that you wanted a martyr, just a regular guy wouldn't do. But baby, I can't hang upon no lover's cross for you. You really gotta hand it to you, 'cause girl, you really tried. But for every time that we spent laughing, there were 2 times that I cried. And you were trying to make me a martyr, and that's the one thing I just couldn't do. 'Cause baby, I can't hang upon no lover's cross for you. These tables are meant for turning, and people are bound to change. And bridges are meant for burning, when the people and memories they join on the same. Still I hope that you can find another who can take what I could not. Have to be a super guy, or maybe a super god. 'Cause I never was much of a martyr before, and I start nothing new. Baby, I can't hang upon no lover's cross for you.
Okay. Two serious, poignant, beautiful songs to open the album, and now we're going to smile a little. We can smile because this is a fictional story. It's not a true story. 5 short minutes. It's about a groupie who corrals into a motel room, and it turns out she's underage. Called five short minutes.
But she was standing by my dressing after the show, asking for my autograph, but asked if she could go back to my motel room. But the rest is just a tragic tale. Because 5 short minutes of love will brought me 20 long years in jail. Well, like a fool in a hurry to go to my room, she casted me a glass of water, sang on her tune, and I said, ooh, now it's a tragic tale. Because 5 short minutes of love will brought me 20 long years in jail.
All right, and more funny lyrics follow in that song. Love the catchiness. So obviously his style was kind of folk rock, little boogie rock, singer-songwriter, you know, just a great musician. Hard to put him in a genre, actually. Pop, rock, folk, boogie, all of those things. Now, the last song on this album is one of my favorite, funnier songs by him. And you may know it. It was the 3rd song released from this album as a single, and it's called Working at the Car Wash Blues. Here we go.
Well, I had just got out on the county prison doing 90 days for non-support. Trying to find me an executive position, but no matter how smooth I talk, they wouldn't listen to the fact that I'm a genius. The man said we got on if we can't use. Now I got them steadily depressing, low down mind messing, working at the car wash blues. Well, I shouldn't be sitting in an air-conditioned office in a swivel chair, talking some trash to the secretary. Said, "Hey now, Papa, come on over here." Instead, I'm stuck here, rubbing these fenders with a rag and walking home in soggy old shoes. With them steadily depressing, low down mind messing, working at the car wash blues. You know, man, oh.
All right. Let's go to side 2. A couple more songs I want to spotlight for you. This is just a gorgeous song, and it was the 2nd single from the album. I'll have to say I love you in a song. Great lyrics, very catchy tune, and beautiful.
Well, I know it's kinda late. I hope I didn't wake you, but what I've gotta say can't wait.
just love it. I also wanted to point out a few of his songs and his typical writing. We hear this on other artists too. The first verse is a little sparser, and the drums and bass are held back and then kind of kick in and give it a fuller sound by the second verse. That's why I like to play through the second verse on a lot of the songs I play, because you kind of get a different feel on the two verses with the music. Okay, what do I want to play next? Okay, yes, the Top Hat Bar and Grill. Just a quick spotlight of this, which is a really catchy little boogie rocker, a little more lighthearted. I'm going to play what is the most deep of a cut that I'll be playing, a song called Thursday, and I just like it a lot. It's a really cool song, and then we'll call it a day. It's not the same. I started out pretending that I thought to mean enough to you to me. Oh well, I've got to end it at some point. I hope you enjoyed getting to hear some Jim Croce, maybe having some new music opened up to you. And if you're not that familiar with his songs, I highly recommend you go to your streaming service and just bring up the best of Jim Croce or a Jim Croce playlist, because you can put him on for a couple of hours and you can't go wrong, as you can see. All those songs on this one studio album. So thanks for joining me, and please come back next week or so, and I'll have episode number 66 of Waxing with Wade.